Hello and welcome to the Pay It Forward podcast, where we talk to payment experts from around the world and from as many different industries as possible. I'm Fiona McFarlane, your podcast host, and joining me for this one is Mr. Makis Savvides, who is the head of payments for Wargaming. Now, Makis, I am so excited to dive into the world of gaming because it's not one that we talk about too often, and I think we should because holy moly, is gaming not only more than what it was 10 years ago, but there's a lot of finance and payment happening inside. Am I right?
Yeah. Thanks a lot for inviting me into this podcast. I'm very excited to be here and talk about payments and gaming.
Yeah, no, so am I. Let's start from the top.
Yeah.
Do you mind giving me a little introduction on who you are and, of course, on your role at Wargaming?
Of course. My name is Makis Savvides. I'm heading the payments team and the fraud team at Wargaming. Wargaming is a global gaming company. We develop and publish our games across the globe. We have more than 250 million users. A lot of users, and this spanning from Brazil to Japan. Our game, everybody that has internet can download our game and play for free. Our model is free to play, so somebody can download it and play without paying at all, or if they want to progress or buy new and exciting stuff, they can do it by having microtransactions within the game.
Okay, well that makes sense because very often I'm sure you get the first silly question of if Wargaming is free-to-play games, and why do you need a head of payments?
Very, very good question, because we need to make money. And so as everybody, as all the business are there to, first of all, to have a nice and good product and also make money. Okay, it's an investment that our co-founders did. So even though it's a free-to-play game, as I said, the model, there are in-game microtransactions. So let's take one game is World of Tanks. Somebody can buy a new tank, can buy ammunition, can buy a lot of different stuff, in-game stuff, that will help him to progress in the game. So for us, as in gaming, it's very, very important that at the time that somebody wants to buy something, because it's the excitement. I don't know if you play games. You play games?
Nintendo.
So on the Nintendo, do you buy stuff or no?
No, I'm old school, but I really, really love what's happening to gaming.
Okay.
So right now you're actually explaining to me so much, and I really want to know what's happening within finance and payments in gaming? What can we buy? What can we get? What's happening on the other side?
So each game has its own monetization policy and monetization strategy. In our games, as I said, is a lot of things that you can buy in order to progress quickly and be more competitive. Okay, because you are competing with other gamers. Okay, so. And when you play, you get into the excitement that, oh my God, I lost, I need to buy something in order to become better. And the user, when he wants to buy something, we need to be sure that we offer him the available payment methods for his country, because each country has its own peculiarities around payment methods. And we need to process the payment quickly and safely. So every time that somebody wants to make a payment, our goal as payments is that we need to process this payment successfully. Okay, a lot of times we are discussing in-house. Okay, what happens if somebody his transaction does not process? He will retry again. We have some statistics saying that if a transaction is failed, then within the next 24 hours, we monitor his payment behavior if he buys again, and we see a percentage that they don't. For us, it's important. Okay, it's not the biggest KPI, But it's very important that we need to, every time that a player wants to buy something to play into the game, we need to process the payment. The same goes, I will say, with all the e-commerce companies. You go to a shop, you want to buy something. You make the decision that I need to buy these shoes from this shop, and your transaction is failed. A lot of customers get upset. Competition is huge. You can go to another shop, you can go to another game, play. So for us, it's very important, and for all the e-commerce companies, that the payment is the last step that goes, and so somebody will not understand it. So it's processed smoothly and safely. Yeah.
How often does someone want to pay, but the payment fails?
I will say it's around 10% of the transactions. They failed as the first transaction, but somebody will retry. Our goal here is when a payment is failed, we try again to push the user to use another payment method. So in order to process the payments with a different payment method, or if it is with a card, then we have cooperating with our acquirers to process and retry these transactions via different routes before we eventually declining. So there are a lot of mechanisms around payments, a lot of technicalities, I will say, how you will reduce these failed percentages, because failed percentages is not good for e-commerce companies.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for answering that question. My next one is one which I'm asking each interviewee that comes through, and it is, in your opinion, what are the biggest trends and technologies that are impacting your industry?
The last few years, we have seen a lot of investment into account-to-account section. This is most likely driven by the new legislation in Europe, PSD2, which gives this opportunity to have account-to-account payments. For example, instead of using your card, you go and you pay via your bank. So the process is very smooth, and a lot of investment has been done in this area in Europe. There are other regions that are more advanced around account-to-account. I will say in Brazil, with Pix, is the most popular payment method to pay, and it's purely account-to-account. And we have also UPI in India. So I will say that account-to-account will continue to pick up in Europe a lot, and will become one of the most popular ways to pay within Europe. And the other area that I see growing a lot is banking as a service. There is a lot of discussion around banking as a service, and in simple words, what it means is that there are companies that they provide the technical capabilities and the technical infrastructure to merchants like Wargaming to offer financial products, to offer cards, accounts, loans. And because users now, customers, they're so familiarized with their favorite merchants that they trust them to buy financial products instead of their banks from their merchants. And we have a lot of examples in the industry that this is happening. And effectively, it's another way the merchants to monetize their audience. So I see a lot of investment around banking as a service as well, and more merchants using this service.
What are the customer demands that are most impacting payments within gaming?
Yeah, always our customers want more in terms of payments. In each country, we offer the most popular payment methods. But what we do in order to understand if we miss something or something goes wrong that we didn't notice it, quite often we do surveys and we ask our payers, how was your last payment? Are you happy? You are missing something? Tell us, in order to get the feedback. And a lot of times we receive the same answer. We want these new payment methods. We want more payment methods. And if we go back and analyze the payment behavior of these payers that they have answered that they want more, we can see that they are already payers. They have already identified a payment method that it's convenient for them. So always customers will want more and more. So we need to be very careful if we are going, what we will take out of this service and what we will use. Another example is that out of this service, all the gamers wanted crypto, to pay with crypto. Crypto a few years ago was so popular. Okay, so we had a lot of discussion internally about whether we will offer crypto. For us as a payments, it was very easy to go and do it. We will find a payment partner that will support crypto and do it. But we need to go back and discuss this with compliance and with our treasury department to see if our banks are okay for us to accept crypto. After a lot of discussion, we said, okay, this payment method is not for us. We will not implement it, even though we have done our analysis. We saw that there will be additional revenues coming from that. But for compliance reasons, we decided not to do it. So yeah, conclusion is that customers want more and more and more, and we need to be careful what we will be implementing and not what.
Absolutely. Keep a balance and make sure that that you remain commercially viable,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And within regulation. You were actually speaking at the money and tech stage about how localizing payments can help scale a business. Do you mind giving, just for the podcast, a little brief on that?
Yeah, of course. As business grow up and they want to enter a new markets, especially outside Europe, they need to think about the localization of the payment methods. A few years ago, we have been hearing a lot that cards and PayPal is sufficient, is the only payment method that somebody will need in order to go globally. This is not on the table anymore, and we understand that this is not viable. So let's say that you decide to go into another country outside Europe. Let's say you decide to go to Japan. So there are a lot of things that you need to do around payments in order to localize them. Each country has its own unique payment methods. Probably in Europe we are saying, okay, we know them and it's okay to have PayPal cards, a bit of PaySafe card, etc. But in Asia countries, the popularity of payment methods of the local payment methods, it's very high. So when you go to new markets, you need to identify what are the most important and popular payment methods for that country, onboard them, and then you need to work on other areas, like you need to offer selling prices into the local currency. You need to be able to process the transaction in local currency, and also the language. So this is on a high level, the things that you need to localize and do if you want to go to a new market. It sounds easy, it's not so easy, especially if business is pressuring a lot to go into new markets very quickly, 2 or 3 or 4 new markets at the same time. So this becomes very, very challenging for the payments team to have the knowledge, to have the access to the market, to understand and find out very quickly what needs to be done and do it very, very quickly. So if you don't localize payment methods, then you have a negative effect on revenues and profitability. So localization of payment methods is a must, and this is what we will discuss tomorrow at the panel.
Very good. I have to ask, when you speak about all these issues, what, in your opinion, would be a solution that would really help yourself and your payments team when it comes to going into a new market or handling the 3-4 new markets a month?
It's labor intense. I mean, even though you have access to a lot of information, Okay, and when you know the market and you know the people that you will ask and how you will find this data, okay, you will find them. The thing is that the people within payments team should be expert in payments, okay, and this thing is very labor intense. You need to have the people that will have good understanding to make the right decision from the start about localization, and not only localization, about everything within payments. So yeah.
In what other ways could you see payments and finance being embedded into video games and the video game industry?
Yeah, as I talked before, I see embedded finance to growing. At Wargaming, before the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, and before our decision to abandon operations in Russia, as all the European companies did, we had an embedded finance program in Russia. And in simple words, what we did is that we have offered a debit card to our gamers. And what we have done with that is that we have created a program that we have motivated our users to take this card from us and not from their banks. And we have motivated our users to use this card and make this card as their primary card to their day-to-day purchases. And we have packaged this by giving them in-game items. So we told them, if you register for this card, you will take this in-game item that is a bit valuable, take it for free. And then as you use and you spend, you use this card for a day-to-day spending, you will give you in-game currency, it will give you in-game items. So this motivate our users to take this card, our own co-branded card with our logos, with our brand, etc., and use it. For us, it was another way to monetize the users, but also we gave our users extra in-game items for free, because for them it was for free. And what we have seen is that users that they had this card, effectively they have been spending more, and also they have been playing more. So embedded finance, it's a broad concept, and each company before goes and launch an embedded finance product, either card or a loan or whatever this can be, needs to analyze a lot how this product can be addressed uniquely to the audience that they serve, as we did at Wargaming.
Very interesting. I like that a lot. You know, this idea of having a card which gives rewards.
Yeah.
We know that this breeds loyalty. Of course, we have it with other ones. But that being said, the potency of gaming, because it is a game, you are competitive, you want to win, you want to gain more, in-game purchasing power. I can imagine that must have been a really successful tool.
Yeah, we have issued more than 1 million cards in Russia, and it was one of the best co-branded projects for many years in Russia. Unfortunately, due to the war, we had to make the decision, leave from stop operations in Russia, and we're trying to implement the same program in Europe, but Europe is a bit different from implementing such a products here. So something that we're looking at it.
Well, I really hope that this is something that we're going to see in Europe, because it sounds like a fabulous paytech tool. Well, thank you for that, Makis, and thank you for the amount of insight which you've brought here. I have really enjoyed it from start to finish. Thank you so much for joining us.